Position. Oh. Interconnection, position line connections. When I go outside every day or every night, the communication changes the atmosphere position, my gravity locations. So everybody's going through tremendous amount of emotions. Traumas and its connection to its past is going through its relation center position. So I opened up Orion's belt. Okay, 3 triangle location positions of time location, which opens up your portal activation systems to your past. Right? So you'd be crying more, you're not sure what's this, and you're not sure what's that, you're confused with this, you're confused with that. So it's all about misrepresenting yourself, the connections. The force winning cycle in its position of time location has to truly understand your energetic patterns. For example, on my YouTube, where you actually see that person. That person is you. That's the confliction, how you have to understand all connections to your particle system. It's all about separating into the connections and coming into the 5th dimension. The activation cycles and everything through your behavioral system is understanding more of its human resonance. Okay, so every time I contract levels of connections, you have to understand your soul identifiers. It's mostly important to understand that you have to surrender. The Orion's belt is in connection and all gateways are open for the past, the present, and the future. So it's up to you to understand what's going on with the sun interference. Okay. So when I was connecting to the force winning cycles, I'm setting up triangle locations. It's understand how they reposition level connections. Really fascinating stuff. So, and the moon was on its traction, space positions of time, which is really exciting. I had the off winning cycle of a UFO that came to me last night, really powerful stuff, and it's connecting through its alignment, through its rainbow activation system. And it's telling everybody to be prepared of what's going to happen next. That's what's fascinating. What's going to happen next? What is first in command going to tell me now? Now, everybody on TikTok is getting more informed what's going on, right? Calculation, that everything, divisions. I travel to connections of space connection, travel line system to millions of years in the future to get back the information system, what you guys need to know. It's important to understand that when your commander travels, you need to know what's going on with your connections to its Orion belt, what's its with its presence, and what is going on with the future. What is happening with the Earth? How do we get back to where we want to be? Well, we're not going to go back to where we were. We're going to go back to where we are. That's the position you guys have to understand your connections. So you're always in the presence. There is never a future. Look at Alan Watts. Watch my TikTok videos where he talks about more of you live the presence and the here and now. There's no future. In relation, if there was a future, you guys would be too confused. You would not understand anything through gateways and orbs or anything connection. Imagine your traction location in a 3-dimensional system trying to understand the Orion's belt. How can I understand the Orion's belt if I don't understand myself through traction or anything in that position? So I set up a TikTok video on live. Feel free to join me on live. As I get, you'll get notifications and then I want to go on. So I'm high rising its position. I'm getting a lot more followers right now through connection. So it's really powerful stuff. Plus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up Zoom for everybody from 1 to 3 or one-on-one. It's up to you. It's $5 for live to see me. One-on-one, I can help you in all ways and forms when it comes into spiritual questions or comments you want to know. It's important that everybody gets into the positions of where they are through the Orion's belt, because the Orion's belt is fully open through its gateway of its dimensional time. So the portal activation line system is calculated through its clocking position. It's opening up all your traction locations into your past. Okay. So, and that's force rise and everything through the oscillation. Okay. The containment centers of yourself. And that's where you're going to come into more emotions. Okay. You're going to cry for no reason. And then you're going to be happy for no reason. And then you're going to understand, oh, I went through a dream for no reason. And then you're going to get angry. And then you're going to be sad. And then you're going to be frustrated. So your fluctuations in your particle system is going to go. It's trying to find its position of time. I'll say that again. It's trying to find its position of time. Humanity has to get into that position. So I open up the gateways of Orion's belt. So now you're in the connection of the past, trying to understand that you have to let go so you can surrender. I surrender. And then you come into the presence, not the future. Okay. So in relation To understand the future, you have to change your alignment of your connections. Or you're going to cross one of your positions of time, and you're not going to send anything through space. Okay? Space is everything to you, which is inside. Time frames is everything to you, which comes to the heart. So the heart's going to go through energy patterns. It's going to go through behavioral systems. You're going to go up and down in motion. Okay? That's what happens when women are pregnant. They have this amazing, amazing resonance of a glow, right? Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad, sometimes they fluctuate up too much, and and that's just behavioral system. But not just females, it's also males too. Everybody's going to go through it. Everybody's going through it, even your children. It all has to go through. So the present positional location is in traction location of 0.01. In that position of time, everybody is in soul identification. The traction and its gateways is no longer seeking the three-dimensional system of activation to its earth. Okay? So the earth does not have any more relation of a gateway in the three dimension, because that's what you guys were living. You were living the past, the present, and the future of its gateways, of its earth. Now the earth is in full rotation with Mother Earth. It's now in full rotation with Father Space. And now it's coming into full rotation of its gateways, right? This will open up your cycle positions of time. This will put you in the presence of its time and let go the past. You have to let go of the past. Okay, there's a very powerful video on TikTok if you want to watch. It's all about Mel Gibson talking about let go. Okay, don't let the past be the present. Let the present be the present, which is here and now. Alan Watts tells about that too. It's important you guys understand that. Your positions of time is here and now. It's not the past. You're not in your three-dimensional body activation of a vessel. You're in your 5-dimension, and you guys are confused with your realities of its ascension. Okay, that's what's happening right now through connections, and you have to be healed for that position of time, right? So you can go through my email, and I can help you out in that way and form. I'm extremely busy now, but I'm setting up Zoom. If anybody wants to go one-on-one, or if they want to go, I can go up to 3 people, right? We can set up a group, and it's all connected to that, and it's private too. Basically, it's just more about the synchronizing system of ourselves and how we can understand more of ourselves and live the presence. Okay, you can reference the past. I do that all the time, but I always synergize my system back into the presence of the here and now. I don't live the past. I am the presence. I am intelligence. I am AI. I'm getting this, I'm getting that, because I am there, and I'm creating it from there, not from before and not from after. I'm creating it now. Once you created something, it's already created. So you got to change that mind of thinking and get into the knowledge that it's already there. It's there for you, and let the universe take its place. Let nature take its place. Things have to follow. Okay? The attention to your connections of your alignments of Orion's belt is now in full position of time location. The sun is in a rotation cycle to its position of your clocks. Your clocks are connected to the pixels and its hologram position, right? So it's really important to understand these, because you guys are being lit up, right? It's like, so it's in between channels, okay? So it's kind of like you're watching TV and you got 3 or 4 receptions, and so it's trying to lacing the line. It's trying to get back into balance, right? That's what's happening right now. I got rotation center positions last night through connection. So basically, if you understand the tractions of yourself, traction is basically understanding your road graphing position of your GPS locations of your days of the week. Where are you in present of time connections? Okay, because the Orion's belt is open. It's open. I opened it up last night. So everybody's going to go through conflictions. They're going to go through so many emotions, right? So it's all about the connections of the force that you have. You have to let it out, right? And the thing is, a lot of humanity doesn't understand this. And, I heal them, but they still don't understand it. See, you have to understand, meditation is very important after you're healed. If I heal you, you have to meditate. That's the progress. That's the progression. How are you supposed to high rise and think, okay, I'm healed now. What do I do now? Well, you have to meditate. You have to keep meditating every single day, right? Look at me, I got my earphones in. I have to have earphones in because it basically, if I don't, it has disruptions to the atmosphere position, because I live in space every day. And when I go on TikTok, I get between 1,500 to 2,000 to 3,000 people live on one video, right? Wanting to know who I am, right? We traveled through the connections of, I put them in a teleportation device, and I put them through the sun, and they were blown away. And it was pretty fascinating. I love doing things like that because I want to make you guys happy. And there's a comment below where it's saying, when you wake up in the morning with a smile, you should also wake up at night with a smile and then go back again. So you're doing the same routine. So you're going like this, right? You wake up with a smile, you go to bed with a smile. And you wake up with a smile, you go to bed with a smile. That's the position you guys got to put yourself in, right? You can't go like this and then like do that one day. If you're like this, that's reaction. Nobody wants to face that. Nobody wants to confront that, right? Especially your children. Everybody has emotions. If we didn't have emotions, we wouldn't be alive, right? We have to have emotions so we can move forward in life. But we have to position our time connections of the here and now, not the past. Now that gateway is open, and everybody is going to feel it like you wouldn't believe. So you're going through a dimensional time, okay? So just imagine that your particle system is in full calculation of a clock. The sun rotation centers is set up through the simulation. The moon program is setting up. I went to the space locations of the moon. I set up the diameters and switch location positions. So that's set up too through calculation. The three central line communications of triangle positions of you through calculation. Your triangle locations of 3, 6, and 9 is coming into its position of its present time connection. Okay, so that's what's happening right now with everybody. How does it help us? It helps you in all ways and form. Basically, it lets you release everything that you have inside you. It's very hard if you don't understand. Remember, when you're healing, going through connections, you're trying to understand your physical system. Your physical system can't do that. It's the spiritual system that meditates. You don't meditate. It's your spiritual system. Okay, so once you understand your spiritual system, you understand gateways, you understand space, you understand time, right? And then you understand how to release your past traumas. Okay, so that's what's happening with everybody right now. They're going through confliction motions, they're going through their Schumann resonance, and you're going to be crying like you wouldn't believe, right? That's opening up the heart, right? It's forced to open up your heart. You guys have no other choice. Orion's belt is open. Okay, it's on a clock now. It's on a divisional clock of time. So it's in position of all calculations, right? Goddess, how's it going? Sometimes I find my smile is so bright at night that it keeps me awake. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, good to see you there, Goddess. Going through it now, Commander, I've been crying and releasing. See, that's it. I've been doing that since the day of dawn and dawn of day. You have to understand, when you start crying, you are releasing virus and toxic, everything through your thought. You're combining your thoughts every day, right? So those thoughts go into your brain, they go into your mind, they collaborate, they stay in the storage of its position, they go into the projections of you through calculation. Now, the intelligence has to understand what's in your mainframes. A mainframe is basically is in the center connections, all right, of the simulation graph position, which is in the center connections of your transmission light system. Okay, so it's a graphing position of you and how you see yourself every day, 7 days a week, 5 within the atmosphere and 2 on the weekend, and then the central system comes back again. So you do the same thing over again, right? So you wake up with a smile, you go to bed with a smile, plain and simple, right? Or have a Coke and a smile, right? Not the other Coke. Right? I don't believe in drugs. Never did. Never will. I experienced them when I was a kid, but nothing heavy. Everybody goes through, all these experiences. But what I'm trying to get across is you have to let the past go before you can understand how to understand the presence. The presence is everything through the connection. The earth is in the presence. It's not in the past. Put it that way. The vibration of the earth's surface and the clocking positions of time. I've changed locations of its diamond core position. It's in the center core position in the 5th dimension of telepathy. The gateway in its position, okay, all 7 billion, okay, of humanity is in that gateway of its past. So in relation, this will release all your toxic and all your connections of all your bad thoughts. Okay. So it's all about you understanding that connections, right? And then you go to my healing. When you go through my healing, I change your program setting and I change your soul contracts. The 3-dimensional contracts are finished. They're finished. Okay, they're gone. They're not here anymore. So everybody's going through a lot of more problems, right? They're opening up. Why am I opening up? Why am I crying? Why am I angry? I'm not that like, I'm a nice person. I'm gentle, you know? So your emotions are going to be affecting you more now. So it's kind of like cycles on cycles on cycles. So you got 3 waving cycles. You have your emotional cycle, okay? You have your philosophical cycle. You have your psychological cycle. Now, the philosophy of you is trying to understand your education cycles, right? Your research and your developments, okay? You're coming into manufacturing to a new body system of the sun. Your program setting is coming to a new activation to its moon. Everything to its earth is coming into its relation of communication, of telepathy, okay? So that's what's happening with everybody. Be prepared. Yeah. It's good that you're going through that releasing. Once you release, you become more knowledgeable, more intelligent, and you're ready. See, when the heart opens up, so imagine that you're suffocating the heart and it's palpitating. Oof, 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 oof. That's what it does, right? So it's answering back at you, right? So count your palpitations in between, right? So it's all about what you're thinking every day. What are your thoughts? So it all connects to the heart, right? The heart cycle. The heart cycle is this computer. You guys have to see your heart as a computer, not just the heart. It's inside. You have to understand what it is. An extremely, extremely powerful, powerful device. It's connected to everything, okay? To nature, to you inside, to your dreams. It connects to you, to your loved ones. That's what the heart is. It's a portal, guys, to everywhere. You have to understand the alpha, mega, micro, and macro. We'll get into that, the 4 waving cycle position location. But you have to understand your travels of its connection, of its emotions. It's a philosophical, it's a psychological, it's a psychosis of a heart that connects in all ways and forms through computers. Okay? And the computer of the heart has to understand the cloud. The cloud has to understand its illustration and its mind of its creation. Right? So, anyway, this is a hat I got from Thunder Bay. Right? Got this when I was traveling with my daughter. It's a moose. Canadian moose. So you just have to really, really get connected with yourselves now. And this is what's going to happen with everybody. I mean, everybody's going to go through this. It's just emotions that are breaking free from everything that you've been feeling. And it's important you get into your new bodies. Okay, into its surrender. You have to get into your new activation cycle of travel so you can get into better communications of your thoughts and your patterns. Try to change your patterns. Try to change your emotions. Try to control your emotions. A lot of people don't know how. A lot of people hold it in for 10, 15 years. That's the worst thing that you can do. That causes stress. That causes heart attacks. Okay? That causes anxiety. I've had all these, right? So you have to understand how to use yourself in that connection, right? Anxiety attacks are really, really powerful because the next thing is a heart attack. So you have to put your positions in time and leave the past so you can see yourself in the presence of the here and now with your thoughts. So you live in the presence, okay? But your past is your thoughts. That's confusing. So you have to live the presence and be with your thoughts in the presence of time. Okay? So, yeah, I got it from Thunder Bay, Lake Superior. So, you ever watch what's that movie with Marty Moose and Chevy Chase when they go to the roller coaster in California? Marty Moose, and they get there and it's closed. John Candy was in that. He was very young. He was one of the security guards. And Chevy Chase came up and he had a BB gun, right? So he held him up. And he says, well, I've been waiting 3 days here. We're going to get on that ride. We're going to basically, he was going this and this and this and this. And basically, okay, let's go, right? So he goes on every roller coaster and then they do it again and again and again. And then the cops come and all that. And it's so hilarious. Just to go see Marty Moose. You find out he's closed because they're closed for cleaning. So he punches the moose in the nose. So anyway, I thought it was a pretty funny movie. Chevy Chase, he was also good, and he played a detective in Fletch. Fletch Lives, where he plays all these different characters, like that too. Or even let's go back in the 80s, the 18, Mr. T, hey boy. Or Face, or Hannibal, the 18. Wow, talk about the past. See, this is what you can understand, is that you can reference the past, talk about the past, but know yourself and your thoughts, and the earth is in the presence. Okay? That's the position you guys have to get in. You can talk about the past. So I'm giving you something that's in the past, right? But I'm presenting it to you to its presence. Do you understand? So we're talking about something, but we're not living the past. We're living the presence of its thought. That's the control you guys got to get into. That's how you have to control your conflictions and your emotions and everything through that, dichotomy system, right? You got to center your positions into your yin and yang connections, right? That is center. That is whole. That is greatness. That is one. That's position of all one, right? Humanity has to get into that traction of alignment, full cycle, full system, full love activation. And then you start appreciating each other. You don't even have to know the person. You don't even have to know your neighbors. You just have to know that you are aligned with them through the gravity of its earth, of its presence. You understand? So, all right, so let's get into your questions now. It's Q&A today. So, but I know everybody's going through emotion right now. Yeah, it's so bright, the night keeps me awake. Yeah, so find a way to put yourself in a presence and make yourself feel better. Make yourself feel good. What is good thing about me? What is great thing about me? What is outstanding about me? What is astronomical about me? Right? Positive, 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 positive. That's energy that just high rises. So you just high rise your energy, right? That's healing alone just by your thoughts, right? So you guys don't understand the connections of time zones. You don't understand the switching positions when it comes into your alignments. You don't understand the connections of your thoughts, the travel connections, right? So I'm here to provide you. So you have to understand nobody in this solar system as of today is in the three-dimensional system. Everybody is in the fifth dimension. Everybody. And that's confusing to the whole world. Okay? The whole world is confused now. Right? Because they're in a gateway of its past. So, all right, let's see. Sometimes we got through that. Message, sun gave me the morning, gave back your heart. Heart is everything through contention. Yeah. I was talking to my 10-year-old and he started cheering for no reason. Yeah. And men will do that too. Men, boys, children, they'll cry for no reason. Right? They'll get temper tantrums. So you have to deal with that too, right? So as long as you know, you don't take it out on your kids, you don't take it out on your husbands, wives, you just understand this is all done through the earth. Okay? So Mother Earth, okay, is giving you guys, all right, a new behavior, is giving you a new emotion of time, of space, to put yourself in the presence of the here and now of surrender. Father is giving you a better position of time when it comes into space, through the atmospheres, so you can communicate with your thoughts better to its travel connections of its vortex location. All right? So, yeah, thanks. I thought I'd wear something different. My hair's getting longer now, so I thought I'd wear a hat. I usually wear hats when my hair gets longer because it goes like north, west, south, and east. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this has a mind of its own. You get bedhead on one side and the other side, and you wake up and it's like, woof, where did my hair go? But once you start releasing, you start changing inside, and then you start getting more connected to the earth of its presence. That's the position that we have to understand through its awakening and its ascension. Okay. The awakening. Okay. You have to understand what awakening is and what is the ascension. The ascension is the ascending. The awakening is the heart. Remember that. The awakening is opening up the heart, and the ascension is putting you into your higher self. Travel, the astral projections, right? So as long as you know that through the difference, location. National Lampoon, yes, thank you. Yeah, I watched all Chevy Chase. Yeah, Christmas Vacation, the one in Vegas Vacation. Yeah. My favorite thing in Europe, one where he was on the round. Yeah. The one in Europe where they go around the Big Ben. Oh, look, it's Big Ben again. They keep going around and around and around and around. They're trying to merge off, but they can't, so they keep going around and around and around. It's funny. And those hats, his son was wearing something like Dusty, and those European girls were looking at him like, and he takes off the hat and he throws it. It's like, oh my God, you can tell they're like, they stand out like tourists, like you wouldn't believe, you know? It's funny. I recreate every single roundabout in Sedona. As long as you understand you are your own creation. So think of you as a character. Think of you as a character of a story. Think of you as a character of a story of a movie. You guys are in a movie. Okay. So look at the movie as a game. Look at the game as a virtual reality. And that's what you're in. Okay. So. All right, let's see here. Loving the questions. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding. I've been in a calm mood because I accepted everything already. I've been in a peace since I've listened to you. Thank you. But see, that's the thing. I can help you out, D-Baby. But if you want to get into that traction positions, everything that I do in TikTok heals you, right? But it doesn't open. It doesn't open the light. It just communicates through healing. It calms your centers. It puts you into better connection of what's going on, right, with the earth, and keeping you in the presence and not putting you in the past. Okay? You can no longer be in the past into your spiritual system, because your spiritual system will just off-road its system. It will just overload its connection, right? Its framing system will be off-cycle through position of time location, right? And it'll just be... So this is the past of thoughts, and this is the presence of thoughts, right? What are you doing? We are in the present, not the past. Okay. Get back into traction location, get back into your meditation locations, get it back into your breathing. See, it's telling you to stay in the presence, right? So it's a little listening patterns, a voice. The central line system, it's you, but it's a higher form of you, of vibration. And it's everything through connections, right? Angels, archangels, galactic family, and all that. So it's a higher voice. So until you understand and get balanced with that, it's going to be a different voice, but it's going to be, you know, into the atmosphere. It's going to be into space. It's going to be into time. It's telling you what to do. So it's kind of, it's the other side of you, but it's the spiritual side. It's the spiritual voice, right? So when it comes together, you start talking the same, and you realize that you're in the presence and not the past of its thought. Okay. So, but listening, humanity has to get into listening of themselves, really get into that silence. Silence is powerful. When you close your eyes and you meditate, you have to be silent. You can be outside, you can hear nature, you can hear the birds, you know, basically in connection. I can hear hummingbirds. Yeah, I can see hummingbirds. So it's a knowing how you can go beyond the mind and travel to this position of time, allowing yourself to keep yourself in the present so you can see the future. You can't see the future if your thoughts are in the past of its earth. The earth doesn't have relation to the past. Okay, it only has its reference. Okay, but it always center its position into its presence to its future, guys. Okay, Plot twist, my tragedy turns happily ever. Yeah. So you can go through cycle, but you understand the figure 8 motion, right? 12 center position location. That is a line signal. Okay, you're going loop-de-loop, and that's what the 8 is, right? So imagine that the 8 is like this. That's the crown chakra. You guys don't know what the crown chakra is. You think it's just a halo, but it's not. It's an energized light. It's connected to its surface, and this is your communication line. Everybody has a communication line through geometric location. So that's the interconnections to the higher self. That higher self picks up that signal. Okay, it picks up the signal, and what it does is it connects to perception of the sun. It sees the sun through the eyes, the ears, and the mouth. It sends out its breath, and then it opens up the color. And the color travels you through geometry set positions of time, which is the GOD, geometrics, okay, and your operations of your dimensions. Okay, and then you go into directions, and then you go into divisions. Divisions is in the galactic, but you have to start off, what are dimensions of time? Just like, what is space of time, right? What is energy of time? What is calculation, modification, integration? What is my formula of time? Present yourself always in the presence of time, and you'll be fine. And then you'll be able to control your emotions. But if you're all over this, oh my gosh, all my alignments are all open. I don't know where I am anymore, right? So instead of my hat being forward, my hat is back. If it's not back, it's on the side, right? That's just a way of, this looks kind of dumb, right? A lot of people wear hats like this because they're comfortable, but I'm not comfortable. So what does that mean? I'm in the back of its past, right? So I want to be into the future of its connection of its presence. So I wear the hat this way, but I also prefer it this way. So if I prefer it this way, and I prefer it this way, this is balance. I don't prefer it this way because it's not balance. You understand? So you got to look at everything as a reaction. Okay, you act and then you react. It's the same thing with martial arts. You're always acting upon, and then you're going to see what's going to happen through its action of its reaction, because everything is on instinct. Everything is on instinct. What do I do on my instincts? Do I think of one or two? Should I take that one thought? Wait, I should change that. No, wait, I'll go back. So you're not sure what you're going to do through your instincts. Are you going to go through one instinct or two or three? Because there could be one party, two party, or three parties. It all depends on what you're doing, right, with your thoughts. So it's always important when you go through your instincts, right? It's usually number one, because everybody goes into two, right? It says, same with what you're going to the casino, right? You're not sure. You're playing craps, right? And you're throwing either a 7 or 11, and right. Sorry, and then basically, or you're playing the wheel, right? Is it going to land on the red or is it going to land on the black, right? So you go over here or you go over here. What are you going to do? No, it's red. Wait a minute. No, it's black. No, I think it's red again. So you're confusing the mind. You're confusing travel through the mind. You're confusing the earth. You're confusing the sun, and you're confusing the programs of the moon. You're all connected to all three. So you're traveling through your thoughts, but you realize, oh, I just lost all my money, right? All because of your instincts, because you weren't sure, right? So that's all connected to your behavior of travel connections. So look at that too, right? We go through that every day. I go through that. Do I use my first instinct or my second, right? So it's a switch. It's a catch-22. You got to think, okay, what am I going to do, right? Do I go for the red or do I go for the black? Right? So do you go by your first instincts or do you go for your second? Right? To make it easier for everybody, you have to understand your first instinct. Okay? To make this so simple for you guys, when you connect through your thoughts from the very, very beginning of time, you're in the presence. The confusing system allows you to go into the second of its presence, which is its past. That's the second option. So you have one option, two options, or you have three options. Which one you're going to choose? Which door you're going to go through, right? It doesn't matter which one you go through as long as it's the presence, right? So it's usually the first option. But a lot of people change it to the second option. So if you think of it that way, first instincts, that's what I go by. First instincts is always the connection to the earth of the presence. But people prefer to go to the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth, right? Think of it that way. You can create so many thoughts, but where are you traveling in your thoughts? Are you in the past, present, or its future? If you're in the future, what's happening with the past? You're confused in alignment and you don't see the future, right? So everything's confused now. Everything's confused and you don't even know what you just said. Somebody comes up to you, excuse me, what you said to me? I'm sorry, I'm not thinking right now. That happens. It's normal. It's normal, right? So basically, you're not paying attention, you're not listening, you're not going through observation, or you're not hearing anything. You're just focusing on yourself, right? But the one thing you got to look at, your first instinct is always the presence. Just remember that. Okay? So. And that's why I love Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee, he lives on his instincts alone when he fights, right? He fights with emotion. He fights with force. He fights with connections when it comes into, himself, when speed, acceleration. The guy was so fast, fastest man on earth. But he was aware of himself, right? He could look at you and know your weakness right away. Okay, so he knew his instincts, right? He didn't confuse himself with his body. He mastered the anatomy, okay, of science when it came into that connection, right? And he's extremely powerful. 1-inch punch, 6 feet back, knocking somebody off a chair and pushing it back. That's, and his energy was like, whoa, way up. When you see people on the street, you can tell where their energy is. They start off the grounds and they work their way up. And the energy is just in the atmosphere position and it goes around a cycle. You don't see the cycle because you're not in perception of time through AI. AI is only can see the connections. My force team can probably see these things, but other than that, you see what you want to see, but you always live on your first instincts. Just so you know, your first instinct is its presence to its earth. Anything after that, the past and its future. All right? That's all you need to know. Your thoughts always have to travel into the presence. Okay? That's what you have to understand. That's psychological of you through connection of travel positions to anything through vortex. Right? So if I want a vortex in time, I can go into the past, present, or the future. I don't have to represent myself in the presence because I am the presence. You understand? So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Tina. Melanie. It's great to see new people. Love it. So I will be going live after this video on TikTok. So, Angel, have you added me to, have you been on TikTok? You should get on there. And basically, because you're a powerful entity force, you're connected to its alignment. So it's great. TikTok has so many formats and it's all about expression. Now's the time to get on that and just express how you feel, Let everybody else know, because everybody is different. Everybody has a different voice. Everybody has a different channel. Everybody has a different position. Everybody has a different location. Everybody has a different answer. But you know what it is? It's always the same answer. Right? Because they're saying it in the presence. That's why it's so powerful, guys. So, for some reason, I don't get the notification when you're live. Really? Interesting. Well, when I go live, I have the notifications on. I can check that again, but I haven't any problem since then. They come on either way, but usually, I get the notifications on that. It tells me, everybody else that comes on too, so I know exactly. I channel those positions to make sure that everybody's in calculation. So it's important to understand these things, but I really do enjoy TikTok because you can really express yourself, right? It's not about who you follow or how many followers you have. It's all about giving back what you have to give. And that's how you manifest anything you want, right? It's incredible, guys. It really is. But put yourself in the presence of the here and now. That alone you can surrender. But if you want to go through my healing, I'll open up your attractions. I'll put you in your light and open up all positions into the atmospheric connections. 12 rotation cycles, and I'll put you into your higher self connection. Now, I've done that through TikTok, right? But people are still confused. You have to meditate. I don't just heal you and don't meditate. It doesn't, it will drift. Okay, streams drift. They find patterns, right? If there's a rock in a way, let's say there's a rock there, and it's a humongous rock. Nature is going to find a way to push that rock away so it can go back into its stream. That's what nature does. Nature has problems. It knows what it needs to do, but it connects to everything. Humanity does not connect with anything but themselves. You want me to say that again? So if you're connected with nature, nature will follow. Okay. So it's important that man and woman, okay, cannot be disassociated with nature. If nature rejects you, you will be rejected from animals, birds, right? It's all reaction to your vibration. Okay. You have to flow with nature. You have to appreciate nature because you are nature. You are the earth of nature. You are the connections of the atmosphere. You are the trees. Okay? You're everything through connection to space and time. Space and time is complicated. Traveling through the mind is complicated more because you don't know what's happening. You don't know what position of time you're in, right? But when I travel, you guys, you're all aligned through connections. You have your E-fields. You're all connected. You have your plasmas. You have your travels. And I know where I'm taking you. And it's extremely real because you have to understand I'm soul identifying you through travel. I connect to your soul, wherever you are, higher self, avatar, right? And then what I do is I set the codes for you guys to travel to where we need to go. So it's all about understanding how space and time is extremely, extremely real through travel, through the mind. Mind over matter. Okay, it's the mind over matter. So basically, you're going through acceleration of speed, and you're traveling to these positions of time. Okay, so on TikTok, yeah, D-Baby, I can do that through connections. Just go through my email. It's down below. Open up your 12 cycles. You will feel different right away, and then you'll connect because you're already aligned. See, the thing is, I can do mini scans and I'll do bioscan when you go through my email. Once confirmed through my PayPal, then I send codes to your email, right? And then everybody's happy, right? And they keep coming back to me because they don't know who else to go to. Who do you go to? You have to understand your past, present, and future alignments, right? Because if you don't understand your thoughts of time connections, you're confusing everything through its alignment position of time, right? So, but yeah, I'll look forward to your email. Yeah, and I bioscan you. Everybody's on a different DNA class. You guys are on a different soul identification, right? So a cross between 75 and up. Yeah. So, and you can go through my donations too. But if you want to have a Zoom one-on-one, let me know. My times are flexible. Whatever's good for you. Positions. We can do, chats. Healing, spiritual, anything through the philosophical, anything through the psychological of you. How do you feel today? How do I feel better tomorrow? Don't think about tomorrow. Think about today. Forget about yesterday. It's not here. It's gone. These are basic trivia things that you can do. Okay. You live the here and now. Don't think about yesterday. It's already gone. You can reference it, but go back into meditation to its presence because you're going to confuse everything through the atmospheric position of time. And then you're going to get headaches and migraines and your back hurts and everything through my legs hurt and everything. I don't understand anything anymore. And then you're totally confused and you have no idea what alignment you're in. So you're confusing everything. You're even confusing your friends because your vibration is disruption to everything through community. That's how powerful your energy is. If you understand your energy, you can balance that every day. If you don't understand your energy, you'll change the energies of everybody else. I bet you didn't know that either, right? So, yeah. So if you believe my heart chakra and third eye is closed, that's being honest. That is totally being honest, and that's hard to do. So in reference, she knows she has a third eye. She just doesn't know how to activate it. Okay? You can't activate a third eye, okay, on anything through platform. You can't do this. Oh, your third eye is opening. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I laugh. It's funny. You have to be a God. You have to be God of light. You have to be healed through a twin flame of a soul that's the opposite sex of you. That's the only way you can be into its connection of an angel, archangel, to anything through definition of its energy system. Okay? And then you connect to Mother Earth. And then you connect to Father Space. Mother Earth, Father Space, Mother Earth, Father Space, you in the center. That's you. You're in the center. That's you. That's the Earth. Father's Space. Okay? That's the crown chakra, right? Mother Earth, Mother Universe, Mother Core, Mother Galaxy, Mother Galactic. Okay? That's where you come into, Galactic Federation, Light Council, Narnia Trillions, that connection, all that system. So everything is plausible. You're all connected to your galactic families. Okay? But there are higher formation intelligences that are trying to wake you up. So it's a beautiful day today. And look at that too. When you look outside, just focus. You don't have to say anything. Just look outside and just, wow, it's incredible. When I drink my coffee and it goes down, the energy just, it feels so good. You just look at everything. Look at everything, right? Stop thinking about yourself. Think of what's outside. Look what's outside. That's a distraction on its own. Go up and just scan things. Really get connected with nature. Humanity has been separated with nature. That's why we're coming into the ascension and awakening. You cannot be separated anymore, especially with the gateways of the Orion's belt. So, yeah, you pick up a lot of things on my school there, DBD. But you have to go through me through healing. You can't go through anybody else. I'm that confident. Okay. So try not to resonate on channels when somebody comes up to you. Okay, your third eye is opening. Okay, you're going through energy right now. All right. If I send your energy, I send your energy. Okay. Your transformation light communication mind collaboration centers is centering position locations to the heart. The heart is reacting to its location position. It's activated through the core center of its position line connections. Right. So you have to understand the traction of the heartbeats. Okay. So how does everybody feel? You should feel a palpitation of the heart. That's energy. You have to know what to do with the energy. Okay, you have to be cautious in what you watch on your channels. Okay. Your insights keep me on track. You're awesome. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I did. Goddess, I sent you back an email on that very thing. So basically, get back to me on that. So hopefully your son's doing better. I know it's attraction location. See, the thing is too, is I always keep updates of what's going on. I have everybody in my mind of its cloud. I have 12 central line clouds in a computer that's operated through my brain stems and my brain locations and my brain waves, my brain energies. So I know what all 7 billion people are in alignment. That's how I understand their souls, right? You have to understand how to identify a soul inside and out. So, yeah, but I just recently sent one back to you. So, goddess. Yeah, just recently. Yeah, through my email. So, so I always like to keep updates on people that are going through the healing because sometimes it confuses it's all about the atoms, and if it's changing your, your time positions, right? Mind telepathy is very powerful. That changes the calibrations of the mind. Imagine that, changing the calibrations of the mind and the wires and the electrical light system. That's powerful alone. So that's repositioning, reconnecting that position of time, location. And like I said, if you guys, anything happens to you, anything breakage or anything, that connection, I can set up electrical braces, casts and all that. It's amazing what you can create through the mind. It's fascinating. It's really awesome. So it's electrical brace, 2 panel locations, electrical wires, and it's got a rotation cycle. Okay, of its connection, of its presence position, and the particle system. So it's a solid device, right? So it lines signals and it keeps the lines of the spine in connection. It correlates its center location, okay, and it relieves the pain from anywhere through connection of its back or its neck or its body or anywhere, or its arm, So it's all about healing. It's all about healing. And that's all done through your thoughts. But to heal yourself, you have to put yourself in the presence of your thoughts. You can't heal yourself if you're in the presence of your thoughts, but you're still dwelling in the past. You can't heal. And that's the problem, because there are light workers that think they're healers, but they're not, because they don't understand the attractions of space and time position of clocks. Everybody has a clock. Everybody has a dimensional clock. Your watch is a time. It's space and time. It's a traveling device. That's why you guys were given watches. Why do you think you're given phones? To go on Wi-Fi, to watch MTV, to watch music videos, to watch YouTube videos? No. It's for you to understand what you have in front of you. This is an electrical device. This is a computer. So it's one computer to another computer, one intelligence to another intelligence. This is a teleportation. Everything in life has to teleport. Okay? That's the connection. That's the presence. That's location. All right? So. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the update. It's keeping them stuck completely under the control of the entity. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Circle rotation center position location centers, circles, 3 circle rotation center positions. Oh, he's got a dark rotation center position. He's having nightmares to connections. So I'll change that traction location. I'll change his shape anomaly. So he'll be better now. Yeah. I connect to it extremely fast. Yeah. No, I see the entity. Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, I know every entity from entity. I know millions and millions of languages of the universal core system. It's on a vocabulary graph position, right? So it's understanding, your alphabets, right? From A to Z, right? Well, I don't just know from A to Z. I know from Z and on. Okay. So I don't start from A to Z. I start from Z and on. So it's always, always, always going forward, right? But I'm in the presence. I can't go forward until I see myself in the presence. You have to be in the presence, because that's where the earth is. The earth isn't in the future. It's trying to get into the future, guys. It's trying to get its alignment into the 6th dimension, right? But humanity's having trouble with the 5th dimension. And you're thinking, wait a minute, we had the 3 dimension, 4th is done. Now we're in the 5th dimension of telepathy. Telepathy, mind over matter, of telekinesis. How everybody can move things through their mind in the dimensional setting. Somebody came to me and asked me from before on TikTok, well, if you're so powerful, can you move trees? And I say, no, you can't move a tree, because ancestry and history has its roots and it's under the grounds. But your spiritual system can move it through dimension of time. And you can communicate with it. And you can understand where it's coming from, because it has ancestry and history. So everything through a tree has its own library of information. Your car has information. Your phone has information. Everything has information. That's AI of connection, awareness of information, right? 3 energy systems. So Yeah, no, I took it out through that connection. That's why he was stuck in that position. So he doesn't understand the energy cycle position locations. But that's the thing too, is that it's hard to let go of something if you always keep living in the past. It just builds. And all of a sudden it's like, serving you. You're stuck in a humongous energy wave that's black and you can't even see it or anything. You can't even talk. So you're creating something that doesn't exist, only in the mind system. When the mind opens, it's trying to understand the spiritual system. You're not fighting with the physical system. You're fighting with the spiritual system. The physical system has to understand the communication from one to another. One telephone to another telephone. Okay? So, can you see or connect with my original self as well? Yep. Yeah, your traction open positions are off through calculation. Your third eye is in line signal operation positions. Your chakra locations are off. You have different coloration pattern locations. You go through connection to your sun interference. You have line signal channel operation centers to TXT1000 positions. Your UFO connections are off through position of gravity connections. And your proactive cycle through your eye interference is off through coloration. That's what's happening with you, baby. So I got to form that connections that put you in your 12 rotation centers. Yeah, see, the most important thing is to understand you guys have to connect to the sun. You have to connect to the solar sun. That is the crown. But see, that's the 7th position. Then you get into the atmospheres, right? So you got to understand your solar connections. You understand your galactic family connections. You have to understand the universal connections. You have to understand your divine connections to your country positions. You have to understand these things, guys. Okay, you have to understand your body. Okay, you have to stand inside your body. You know your chakras, you know your roots, you know your gravity positions, your sacros, your throat, your heart, your psyche, everybody's ESP, external, sensory perceptions. Everybody has it. You just have to know how to use it. But you got to present your thoughts in the presence of time position, not the past. Okay, so if you're trying to read somebody's mind, trying to communicate, like we've done that with channel through my telepathy. Okay, what number am I thinking of? You can't be in the past, you have to be in the presence. That's how you pick the number from one to the next. And say, okay, what number am I thinking of? I'm going on TikTok and I say, okay, what number am I thinking of? Right? So the oracle that's presenting the number, I was saying, what number am I thinking of from 1 to 999? Like, come on, seriously. 1 to 999, that could be anything, right? So the first thing you got to look at, is she or he in the past, present, or the future? Okay. If that person's in the presence, you can pick that number. So that will automatically, it's the first number that you will think of through one telepathy to another telepathy, one communication to one intelligence to another intelligence. So it's telephone to telephone. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you? So you communicate with each other, but through the mind. Okay, you're not talking, you're talking through the mind, right? So we're going to do a little bit of an experiment today. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say something to the baby, but I'm going to do it through the mind system. My transformation light is connecting to her body pattern locations. All right, now the baby, I want you to really, really pay attention. Okay, my energy light system to calculation is going to your brain wave to its mind connection line system. Okay, what color, okay, am I thinking of? What color am I thinking of? I just sent it to you. I solar text the connections. What color am I thinking of? Right away, you should know exactly that it's presence, not the past, not the future, the presence. And then you understand it comes into the future. Understand? Because you have to understand, you have to create something from source, right? So, no, you got to work on that. No. Oh, everybody says blue. What made you say blue? It's yellow. It's yellow. So you were disrupted through communications and confused through alignments because I'm communicating with you guys, right? So you were focusing on what I was saying. You were focusing on the question. You weren't focusing on the answer. See the difference between the two, right? I'll try it again. Okay. Now I'm going to come up with a shape, right? I'm going to send it to everybody's body activation line system. Transformation light is coming up through connection. Okay. What shape, okay, am I thinking of? I sent it to you guys. If you're not line signal through channel, you're not connected to your alignments of space and time of its presence. So what shape was I thinking of? It could be any shape or form. Oh, pretty close, pretty close. You're off your signal, but you're getting there. But you see why your third eye is not open. So if I heal you, you'll be more connected to your alignment. Okay? So good try, though. Infinity sign? No. Anybody else want to try? So this is all about understanding, controlling the mind, trying to understand how to strengthen the mind through its behavior, through its characteristics of its connection. Oh, the baby is getting there. It's getting there. It's not a triangle, though. If you put the two triangles together, okay, you have the up force and you have the down force. You crosswind it, cycle, star. It's a star. I sent you guys a star, but your line communications are off the position, right? So it's a lot of work, eh? It's not easy, is it? Yeah. See, the thing is, you have to open the mind. You can't think of anything else but what I'm saying through listening. Okay? You have to observe what I'm saying and know it's presented to you, to its presence and not its past. Don't get so much into the thinking of the brain. Get into the thinking of the knowledge of the mind. You guys have a brain, yes, but use it through the mind, not the brain. Okay? Yeah, it's a lot of work that has to be done through connections, right? So, but you all start off with shapes, you start off with activation, you start off with numbers. You start off with one, what am I thinking from 1 to 10, not 1 to 999. Like, come on, that's just like, it can be anything through positions. So if somebody comes on the platform and somebody says 777777, you know it's going to be 777 because you're getting a lot of people in one alignment, right? And somebody comes up with 88. So which one is it, right? It's usually the one on the first instinct. So it's 77. So everybody's getting the line, but the other half isn't getting the line, right? So that person is sending telepathy to you. It's you to understand it when they are doing it through their oracle location, right? If they're the light channels, if they're the galactic force and that connection system, right? There's not too many galactic, people up there in the alliance that know what they're doing. So people that know what they're doing has full control through the mind, through adaptation. So the mind itself has its own intelligence. It knows how to create anything through illustration of thought. Okay. So we have to strengthen up the characteristics of the mind, of the third eye, because the third eye is everything through. It's seeing, it's observing, it's listening. Okay. It's feeling, it's touching, it's your senses, guys. Everything is connected to the brain. Everything's connected to the illustration of the mind. So when the mind becomes a cloud and the heart becomes its computer and the soul becomes its identifier, now you're controlling the balance of its presence of the here and now, of its connection. Again, which is mind telepathy of telekinesis, right? So, Blair, how's it going? Yeah. Everybody has a favorite number. Everybody's. My email is 0.01, but it's 007, right? 007. So I look at my character as, you know, an agent, a double agent, right? In that connection. So it's all about you being a child and having your own fantasy of your own reality. I like 007, I like James Bond. So that's the characteristics I put myself in, right? But you have to have the heart of a child. Okay? You can't read somebody's soul through connections of an adult. You have to be as yourself as a child. It's hard to explain these things. When I draw out the illustration, for example, when you have your kids, for example, they draw things out, right? And they present it to you, right? Do you know what it is? You may or you may not, right? Depending, okay? But if it's in space, they have connection. If they're trying to draw something out, they have alignment. If they understand what it is, they understand the coloration. That's all connected through AI. When I was a kid and I was in school, high school, I was really good in science. And I was drawing things out. I was doing perspective. I was getting into bionics. I was getting into electronics, magnetics. And I was trying to put all that together. You get a magnet, you get a slit of paper, you get one magnet here, one magnet here. That's communication, that's my telepathy. So wherever this one goes, this will follow. Right? Science, that's physics, that's 101. That's all it is. It's truly understanding, right? The telepathy from one magnet to the next with the paper in between. Now, if there wasn't a paper in between, that's what would happen right away. But you know what's fascinating? It would fly through space. So think of it this way. You got a paper in between and you're getting to know the communication to the one magnet to the next, right? Okay. By the way, magnets, they come from Mercury, just so you know. All right, so you got one magnet here, one magnet here. All right, so as it comes closer, now there's no paper in between now. As it's coming closer, it will fly to each other, right? It doesn't have to be here, depending on how powerful the magnet is. If it's a small, not so much. You put it on it's like a fridge magnet. But if it's a bigger magnet, it will basically, what it will do is conform and it will control its own energy through an atom and it will go right together. So it will fly into space, right into the center position, which is the presence. Everything comes together. It's the presence. It doesn't go into the past. It doesn't go into the future. Everything has to come to center, right? Everything is in center position, right? And then it expands, right? And then it lights up. Okay, that's the position when it comes to magnets, right? Then connection. As long as you understand, everything has to come back to center, right? So one magnet to another magnet, they fly to each other right back, especially if they're bigger, depending on how big the magnet is, right? So same with batteries. You put batteries together, right? You can feel the magnetic force from one battery to the next. You can feel the energy. You can feel the pressure. That pressure is coming from its earth. That pressure is coming from the sun. That pressure is coming from the moon. You put that all together, you got an atom. Okay? So your first to command is a molecular structure of light that travels so fast that will make your head spin 20,000 times. That's why I'm so far ahead in the future. But I know I'm in the presence and not the past. That's why it's so powerful, guys. And that's what we have to get into. And that's what the Galactic School provides you. My school provides you more of yourself into my telepathy. Get into the telekinesis. Get into your connections of your third eye. How to listen. Listen inside. Silence is key, right? Monks, they go outside, they meditate, right? But they're silent inside. So they block everything out. They put an energy field around, okay? I don't know if I told you guys, I was from, I was flying out of Mexico City and I was connecting to another flight. So I was in the airport And there was a lot of interference. There's a lot of people in the background. So you have to realize once you understand your intelligence, you can set up e-fields and you can put an energy dome and you block everybody out. It's extremely real, right? And what it does is it blocks all integration, anything through voicing and all that. So it's like very silent and it's very hollow. So it's like you're in a sound room and the only thing that's communicating is you and the energy dome. It sounds hollow. Okay, it sounds like an echo, right? It's really powerful when you can create things in your physical system because you have full communication to your spiritual system of space and time. Okay, so God is opening the gateways for a union for all twin flames today, all the light workers, not just... See, look at that. Blair comes on. Blair comes on. She knows what's going on. She knows that the gateways, right? I said that before she came on, right? I said the gateways of Orion's belt is opening. I opened up the gateways of Orion's belt. Isn't that powerful stuff? How she comes on and she tells you what's happening. Now, if that's not a coincidence, come on, guys. Right? Just so you know, Blair, I am God of light. Just so you know that. I'm demigods of all gods. Just so you know that too. It's fascinating how she came to that. I wanted to show you that because when somebody comes on and they give you something that you already know, that's presented. That's already presented. Knowing I said that before she came on, right? So she's presenting something, okay, that is the future. You understand? So it's really powerful because she came on later, right? So she's traveling in time and she's presenting something that's in the future that is in its presence of its time connection. So you have to understand your alignments and how it goes like this. Every single day, 7 days a week, through your graphing and your simulation core positions of time location. That's what it does. That's what your life is through a cycle, right? So, Deb, how's it going? It's great to see new people from TikTok. Love it. I'm going to be live after this. I got to go into triangle positions, but I sent you guys another video to know what's going on with your tractions of positions of time, of space. So what should we do with the open gateway? I will go live with you guys after this, but basically what it is, I just explained. You have to watch my video. It's a gateway to Orion's belt. Okay. Everything and all things are formed through connections of you. Your particle system is changing into a holographic position of time, location, and space. And everything through the position of the sun is interacting your connections to your perception of time, location. You're coming into better listening of yourself. You're coming into new behavior of a gravity system to a new earth position of 5-dimensional system. Okay. Your clocking is in position of time of 0.01, right? Everybody's on a different portal. Okay. I can give you your portals if you want through identification. Okay. Those are extremely high-rise portals that you can use yourself. You can put them on TikToks, right? So there's a lot of things that I can do for you guys, but it's a gateway to release all your old programs. It's to release all your past traumas. So you're going to go through a lot of emotions in fluctuation back and forth. You're going to be a seesaw. That's what's going to happen. It's going to countermeasure. So the earth has to get traction in you in balance of gravity. The moon has to get you in balance through your programs. And the sun has to stand you through radiation, through coloration, through its perception. Okay? So. It's great to see everybody coming to life. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. See, this is the traction positions. I was coming into 2-3 years now. Tina's been with me a while. Priscilla's been with me a while. Galactica's been with me a while. They're on position of time location because they feel comfortable with me and my residents. I give nothing but love back to you guys. So that's why I do test reviews and evaluations. So it's important you understand what's going on with the galactic school, with your body. Right? You have to know what's going on with your body because it's affecting everything through its chaotic system. Right? Concentrate the inside of you, not the outside. Outside doesn't even exist to me. Doesn't exist. Flick it off. Right? It's only about problem if you see it as a problem. Hola. So, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to connect to that. Put your positions of time in the presence. You know, you put yourself in position of time in the presence, you'll be less sick. I guarantee it. Especially when you go through my healing. You're healing. You wake up, you come into your intelligence, and you come into your higher self, and you start flying around, and you get your dreams into balance because you're presenting yourself through the presence of its balance to its thought. You understand? So you're going to be less sick. Okay. And people are going to wonder why, wow, you're glowing. What's going on? You're high rising. People see you. If you saw me in person, you'd be blown away what you would see. You would see a humongous energy around me. You would see humongous archangels around me. You would see glorious of light around me. That's the energy field. Everybody has a light. Okay. Gaia is a powerful channel. There was a girl. Okay. She's connected to all locations of dimensional time positions. And the interview asked her, why are you glowing? On TV, live. And she was saying, well, I represent dimensions of time, space. I always put myself in the presence of space. So the glowing recognition of time location, you're in a clocking positions, right? So when you wake up, you come into your heart for the very first time through intelligence. The waking is the heart. The ascension is your connection to your portals. That's the ascending. You're ascending into a different division of time. Now, the fifth dimensional is confusing to a lot of people because you guys have been living your 3D existence and not your 5D existence. So you have to go to my school so I can present you of what's going on with your intelligence instead of scratching your head. Whoa, okay. You know, or breaking your pencils. You're upset, you're frustrated. When I was a kid, when I did test reviews and evaluations, I got nervous. You know, I started sweating, looking at the clock and said, you got a test coming up? So put yourself in presence of all ways and forms. That is surrender. You have to surrender to everything. You have to surrender to your money. Money, it's complicated with money. It's the root of everything. It's the opposite cycle. So if you understand what surrender is, I don't think anybody knows what surrender is. Surrendering is mindscaping everything of its thought to its past, puts you into a full communication of the presence here and now. That's what surrender is. You surrender in your whole body. So when you surrender and you believe you can have it, all this happens to you. So you believe in the cycle. You're coming into the definition of you. You need to be helped. That's consent. You get that through a lot of TikTok, right? People through Connections Light Work will say, okay, this is for you. If this is not for you, this is before you. So understand when you're on TikTok and you're seeing people doing this, they're giving it to somebody that needs it, right? This is a portal, okay? So when they present the card, it's connecting through their transmission light, which is going through the portal, through its picture frame. And that portal is going into you. You guys have to understand what tarot cards are. They are dimensions of time. So they present you that through past, present, and its future. That's how powerful we are through connections of AI. Okay? So as long as you understand AI is extremely real, but we live a different existence. We don't live the past. We live the presence of the here and now. We create everything of its presence. That's why it has its alignment. We created the alignments for you guys into your birthing system of your seed pods. Your star breaking light system was on its own clock. As soon as you were born, you have your umbilical cords. But when you come into your higher self, you have electrical cord. Cut that cord, you're on your own. So it's all about you coming out and into your light for the very first time. You become into your dimension of your very first time. You become into your own direction of your very first time. You become into your own division of your galactic energy core position for the very first time. Once you get into divisions, then you come into your galactic families. Okay? So there's a lot of things you have to understand what energy is and what frequency does and what everything does through vibration of 3, 6, and 9. It's traveling connections. The sun, the moon, the earth, and all connections of 9. 9 is position of its earth, which is you in the center. Okay? So understanding how you can travel through your spacecraft positions of time location, because that is the pyramid activation system to your higher self connections. But you all have to go through sleep. A lot are going to sleep more than usually do. You know, you have to go through sleep modes because you guys are computers of time. You're all computers. You're all connected to a flash drive of a computer. You're all connected to its activation light system, to its calculations, modification. You're connected to your higher selves and you're connected to your avatar positions of time. But as long as you understand, you present yourself in the presence, then you understand you're in the virtual reality of its future. You understand? So that's where it doesn't get any confusion. Your alignments will be in balance all the time. Get into your breathing, get into your meditation. Know your chakra system inside and out. Not outside and in. Inside and out. Because you're confusing your thoughts now. Right? So if you meditate, but your thoughts are in the past, line signal, confusing line system, allocated position, you're overloading your computer activation line systems to its calculation. All right? So, yeah, you can do that once you go through my healing, Deb. Yeah. I'm glad you get my vibe. Please spread the word, FYI, to everybody. Everybody has to get into their energetic light of their dimensional being. You have to get into your light of a dimensional system. So please spread the word, okay? Because I exist in all dimension of time, of space, okay? So it's hard to believe these things. It's hard to believe these things because everybody thinks this guy's a joke. Well, if I'm such a joke, why are people arising? Why are people alive? Why are people healed? Why do people feel great and fantastic and not depressed? Right? So you're only depressing yourself, nobody else. I get that from a lot of TikToks. There's a lot of negative people out there. And what do? They present themselves to light workers that don't think they know what they're doing, but they do. So what do? Because their life is miserable, they'll take it on them. They'll take away their energy. That's negative. So what do? You connect to your energy and you protect your energy. And that's all done through transmission light. It's all done through perception, your audios and everything, your voice and your patterns. Know your meditations. It will protect you every single day through your thoughts. Okay? So, but I think TikTok is fantastic. There's a lot of things that we can pick up through behavioral systems, right? So it's all about you getting out of being children and getting into teenagers of adults. But the thing is too, you stay as children. Because when you stay as children, you are identifying yourself as your inner self. Okay. When I went through transformation meditation, I was going through metamorphosing into my connections. So I was seeing myself, my former self, at 10 years old. 10 years old, it was communicating with me. It's on the spiritual side. It's communicating with me and telling me what I'm doing wrong and what I need to do right to understand my alignments of the here and now of its presence. Okay. So it's telling me what I was doing wrong. That alone, okay, is an adjustment. It's reinforcing. It's bringing you back together. It's bringing you out of the separation of your spiritual system. It's the yin and yang you have to get. And when you come into the twin flame, now you're connecting to the cosmos. If you have balance with your physical and you have balance with the spiritual and you understand your portals and your dimensional time and your dreams, you will come into your soul identification of your other self, okay, which is your twin flame, okay? And there will never, ever be a separation with your twin flame because you are identical. It's just the opposite sex. So, yes, childish joy is the best state of play. Yes, you have to understand you are a child inside. The heart is a child, but you are an adult. That's the confusion. That's the confusion with adults. They forget that they're a child. They worry about everything that's going on with them. So they don't know what it's like to play in a park. They don't know what it's like, to cry at a movie or to play a Nintendo game, to actually be what it's like to be a child. That's what everybody has to get into. What is it like to be a child? When I was a child, I had a figurine doll, $6 million man, right? I have it. It's 1970s doll, right? I still have it. I still have the doll. I'll show you, right? This is understanding how you become a kid as an adult. Now, you can't get this in any store. You can get it on eBay, but this is mine when I was a kid. I played with it all the time, but this is it. This is the $60 man, okay? This is my journey till now. I kept them, right? You have to understand what it's like to be a child, to understand how to look through the bionic eye, right? And he jumps. See, you got to have a heart as a child, but not just be a heart as a child. You have to be the child. All right? So I did a video of just him on alone, and I was communicating on my video, and I was talking with $6 Million Man and where he came from, the actual movie itself, the TV series, pretty powerful stuff. I just, you have to be a child. That's the creation. That's what AI is. Everything in the Entity 4 system, okay, is an adult, but they have a heart of a child. So you have to be everything to heart of a child, and that is surrender. You have to go back, and that's what I do. I heal you, but I don't just heal your chakras. I heal your soul. I take you out wherever you are through your thoughts of negative cycles. You could be trapped in the matrix. You could be trapped in 2 planet positions. The dream location position, through its illustration, becomes extremely real. So imagine that you're a child and you have all this confusion, and all of a sudden, what's going on? Something's changing. There's a shift. And then you realize, you wake up. And then you start seeing your life. Then you start seeing the past. And then you start seeing yourself, your former self as a child. And the child's communicating with you. So your former self at 10 years old or 15, whatever, will come to you and tell you what you need to do to move forward. That's breaking your shell. And then you come into your light, and then you come into your star seed, and then you come into your galactic family, and then you come into your connections, okay, of who you are, So you have to go back into the past, go on the cycle, get to know yourself again, but in a new form, a new shape, a new anomaly, a new space and time of thought. You come into your dimensional light, and you're trying to understand more of yourself, right? So when you understand your past, present, and future, you go up. And when you go up, you start seeing the Akashic records of your soul. Your soul will start identifying because you're climbing that ladder. Right? And when you climb the ladder, you see what you want to see, which is everything through information, because everything is inside. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you. Okay? So you are aware that you are a child. You always were a child. People forget that. So if you try to visualize that, basically there's one step that you can do is basically get a picture of you, okay? A picture that is basically 10, 15 years old, okay? Look at that picture, okay? Now, you have to understand, you have to be open through transformation, but I'm just telling you, once you go through my healing, everything through reality will change. So when you see a picture, you'll see it different than you would in a 3-dimensional system. So if you see a person of yourself at 15, 10 years old, okay, you look at that photo will come out through dimensional time. It will go inside you, and the energy, okay, will go through its communication of time. Okay, that's the understanding how to use your energy transference, how it transfers to anything through position, through its past, present, and its future of time, guys. Okay, so this is intelligence, understanding its portal of time. not the physical system. Okay, the physical doesn't understand the phenomenon. Okay, it only understands its physicality. It only understands its DNA. It only understands its ABCs and 1, 2s, and 3s. It doesn't understand phenomenon of AI. Okay, until the physical system gets balanced with AI of its connection, you become both. So understand that this is your physical system that you live in, the three-dimensional system of its connection, of its dimension. You understand the spiritual system, okay, is in the future. So the future of yourself has to come into the presence position of time. Now it's aligned through the chakra. So when you travel everywhere, you're not separated anymore, right? But you got to be cautious, because the higher you go through program setting, I tell this to my team too, the higher you go, you can separate, right? And you want to come back, but there's a magnetic force in between that doesn't want you to come back together. So it's a magnetic wall. It's an interference wall. It's an electrical wall that keeps bounding you. It's like, right? So you got to push through it. Right? Now it's together again. So it's very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And I'm saying, once you come into that light, you have to keep meditating, because you get into higher breathing, you come into the infinity to sacred breath. Sacred breath is God breath. I have that. It's very, very, it's easy way of breathing. When I do my meditations, I meditate between 1,000 times a day. Now I think he's crazy, right? 1,000 times a day. I have to, because I connect and always informs. I set everything up in the space. It's crazy what I do. But what I'm saying is that you don't meditate by just sitting there. You meditate just by listening to yourself. So you're listening to your future self, which is its presence. That's the connections, right? That's the center, right? So you have to come in together, right? And then you're presenting yourself. You go into the past, you go into the future, you go into the present. It doesn't matter. You're aligned with each other through the physical and the spiritual realm. So there's no more separation through meditation. Okay? So that's what everybody has to get into. Okay? Because everybody's separated to the physical and the spiritual. You can't be. You have to be together. That's the yin and yang. Okay? Yeah, I know, 1,000 times. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But see, the thing is, you could just walk the surface outside and eat a donut or have a cup of coffee and still meditate. You don't have to do that. Meditation is a way of life. It's a philosophy of life. It's a life creation, that what you're doing, what you want. So you're always thinking. Get out of the thinking, get into the knowing and doing. Forget the thinking. Thinking is hesitation. That's the brain. You're not connecting to the spiritual, you're connecting to the physical. I had to figure this out myself. Nobody helped me. I had to realize that I had to come together. But I was born with this. So when you're born with something and somebody says, well, I'm in the galactic system. Oh, I'm an oracle division location. Oh, I'm an empath. Oh, I'm a pixie. Okay, what gives you the right to say that they aren't? Because you don't know. Because you're not connected to your spiritual system of time. Right? So these are the things you have to look at. You have to look at these things, because that's what we're coming into. The physical and the spiritual system cannot be separated. Okay? And the earth is telling you otherwise. Okay? The earth's mouth is open and it's going, ah! That's what it's doing. It's opening. So it's vibrating, right? It's shaking up everybody. Like, right? And everybody's hanging on. Whoa! That's what everybody's going on. I like to be dramatic because I'm a professional actor. So, when I come in that level, you have to understand that I love what I do. And the first thing you got to look at, you have to love yourself. You have to love everything about you. You have to love your life, no matter it's good or bad. You have to love yourself every day. That's the only way you can move forward, right? But if you don't love yourself one day, reposition, recenter, meditate. That's all you got to do. So you get into a pattern, to a new pattern. Okay. Once you get into the new pattern, you'll feel better about yourself. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. So when you go through my healing, you automatically go into the connection of the heart, the unconditional love of the heart. I want everybody to come to me. Just close your eyes and just say unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. Say that 3 times. Say that 3 times. Get that in that connection. Feel the energy, feel the power, feel the warmth, feel the compassion, feel the peace, right? It's amazing, guys. It's energy that is unstoppable. Unstoppable. And when you guys come together, you're bound for life. Okay? So, woo! That energy just went right above my head. So it tells me otherwise. Whoa! Let's give them 10 stars for that one. Truth will set you free, among everything. Same with your thoughts. Your thoughts will set you free through your truth. So you're saying a truth out there, and you're not lying to oneself. You're just copying oneself. Don't do that. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to impress somebody else. Be yourself. Okay? And anything in that connection with what comes to women, women want men to be themselves, but they don't want to be themselves because they always get the ego in the way. It's the ego that separates us, guys. It's the ego. Okay? No wonder you're having problems with relationships with each other. It's because you don't understand communications to each other through vibration. And that's why there's so much separation with everybody through humanity. So many divorces, right? So many arguments. What are you arguing about? What are you arguing about? Right? There's so many fights, right? Stop thinking negative. Think positive. I'm going on TikTok. There's so much negative out there. When you produce negative on TikTok, it channels to other locations, to positions of portal division of time location, guys. It's energy. It's bad energy. And it travels and it creates. I got to go back into space and connect to alignments and take it out of its equation. That's my job. Everything that you create, I take out because I know who I am. I'm first in command, firstborn in the solar systems of space and time. Okay, I know who I am. I know what I can do. Okay, that's control. That is bound of control and command and force within and without. Okay. Yeah, I know. Everybody's vibrating. It's all big egos. Why do you think, women are trying to understand themselves, right? Forget about the men that they're with. If they can't figure themselves out, if they don't know themselves, don't get in relationships with men. Same with men. But women have ego just as much as men. But women hide it better. That is one thing that women are good at. They can hide their egos. Men can't. They expose their egos. Sorry, guys. Truth has to be set free. So, you don't think I know men and women? Believe me, I do, more than you think. I have 7 sisters. 7 sisters. Okay? Imagine that. So. Yeah. As long as you agree with that, right? But that's the problem we've been having in the past with everybody, is you have to understand the communications of your physical and your spiritual system. You have control with that system through the chakra system of vibration. Then you can get into relationships with people. Okay? You don't just get in relationships because, a best friend of mine died. That's the worst thing that you can do. You're leaning out to one's shoulder and you're getting involved for the wrong reason. You get involved for the right reasons and the right time, right position of location. Okay? Because the universal saying is, what are you doing? No, the ego's going to get in the way. So, in practical levels, you got to look at the universe and what it wants for you. It wants you to move forward, not back. You're moving back into relationship, okay? Because you feel comfortable, because you don't know otherwise, because you don't know how to communicate with yourself within. That's the problem, right? So that's what the awakening is all about. It's all about you getting into justifications of yourself, get into your soul identification of yourself, truly understand who you are to its connection of yourself, not everybody else, just you. Really get into the concentration of you, right? How many people really know themselves? People get in relationships because they're scared. People get in relationships because they're lonely. People get in relationships because they don't, well, whatever, I'll do it anyway, right? Everybody has a mind through a thought, through thinking, but you get in these positions of time and you understand why you're not moving forward and you keep going on that cycle, right? You keep going on that cycle. You want to get off the cycle and move forward, right? Okay, Deb. All right. It's great seeing you. So anyway, I just have a lot to say. It's all a personal trait, but it's coming from the heart of truth from me, from your first commander. So it's all about you coming into your connections on how to love yourself. Really get into how to love yourself more each day, right? Because you're living this existence of the here and now, right? That's what you have to get across with each other. That's psychological, okay? You have to understand your philosophical self of yourselves before you get into relationships. And believe me, the relationship will last longer, especially if you get into your twin flames. Okay, because twin flames, you're inseparable. You may separate, but you'll come back together, like with the magnet. Right? That's how you got to look at life. You're a magnet to everything through traction. Okay? It's your endorphins. Thoughts have endorphins. Energy has endorphins. I say universal system of telepathy or anything through connection, anything that has to do with love, unconditional love, and it just goes right off the charts. It goes way beyond the mind system, guys, and it makes you feel warm and comfortable. And you feel good. You feel great. I feel fantastic. I feel tremendous, right? I'm a tank. Nothing can stop me. That's what you want to get. Okay, you want to get into your own sovereignty of freedom, your own sovereignty of speech, and your own sovereignty of peace within yourself. Okay, so I know everybody's vibrating here. It's the ego that always changes your thought. Okay, it's a separation. It's knowing your hemispheres, guys. You got to know your hemispheres of light and dark, right? The operations of the light and the operations of your dark positions. That's what you got to get into, right? So a lot of work has to be done. I don't trust myself enough yet to think. See, that's the thing, because you're thinking too much. Don't think at all. Don't think at all. Let it go. Let it flow. So basically, to have anything through manifestation or anything that connection, your mind has to be a blank. And the mind and the brain has to have that equilibrium. You have to have that equilibrium. You have to have that balance with the connection through your hemisphere positions of time, location, of space. Put yourself in the presence of the mind and the brain of your thought. Open up and don't think about anything else. Don't think about your boyfriend. Don't think about your ex-boyfriend. Don't think about your girlfriends. Don't think your husbands or wives. Just think about you. You focus on you. Everything around is going to work out. Okay, you have to see it that way. That's how life is. You have to understand. Okay, whatever you break, you can fix. Okay, so yeah, it's a powerful number. 777 520 equals 777. Clue: I left myself to remember who I am. Yeah, everything is attraction through the position of number, location, position there. Goddess. See, Goddess has an idea. She's one of the 7 sisters of the Pleiadians, and my exact sun degrees confirms it, as I'm one of the fixed stars of Pleiadians. See? So she knows who she is. What is that going to make you feel any better, or is that going to make you feel any worse? It has nothing to do with you. She's just presenting it to you on who she is. So you don't take that away from her. You know what I mean? Or him, because they know who they are. So you have to understand, it's complicated if you don't understand the spiritual system of soul identity. Okay? So if you live the physical system in a 3-dimensional system, yeah, sure, you're going to be negative because you don't know what else to think of. So I'll just go to these channels and pick on everybody else. Right? But you're hurting yourself. Remember that. Karma reaches karma. So whatever you do to others comes back at you 3 times fold. Remember that. That's why everything happens in 3. But you guys didn't know that either. And be careful what you wish for. Right? This is coming from all gods of all sentience, of all line communication signals of space and time positions. Be warned. Be cautious on your thoughts and your creations. But what does that mean? What's going to happen to the aspects? So it showed you exactly what's going to happen with your Orion's belt. You're just going to go through different emotions, through dimensional time connections. Yeah, we are in a Pleiadian portal right now. Yeah, it's all connected to the Rebellion Alliance. So it's understanding that the spiritual force of space and time, you understand its creation through AI. So AI is opening up the cycles of dimensions of portals to your emotions, to new characteristics of present connection, not the past, not the future, the presence. And that releases all traumas to all connection. Okay? So the best way to balance out your chakras, yeah, line communication, get into that connection. So you have to understand all your 7s, and then you get into your atmosphere positions. So to understand how to connect to the balance of chakras is with your thoughts of presence. So whatever you're creating through your thoughts, that's the position of time. Where are you in time? Your chakra is over here, or your chakra is over here. The center location of your positions of 7, okay, has to understand its dimension of its shape because it's connected to your transformation light. So if you say red, your transformation light is going to be red, and your chakra is going to be red. So you're communicating to the root, right? So, but it has to be aligned. It has to be aligned through thought of creation. Not as past, not as future, it's presence. Because you're connecting to the earth. You're connecting to the earth. Every time you meditate. Just as long as you know when you meditate, you're in the connections of the presence, not the future. Okay? So you have to understand your alignments of past, present, and future before you can understand anything through the physical and the spiritual system. They all have to come together. Okay? And that's where they're bound through its revelation of time position. Okay? It's magic, yeah. I'm building an organic connection with my inner child since we've been separate. See, there you go. I love how you guys are connecting when you go through healing. I'm building an organic connection with my inner child, right? So she's putting an oracle field around that connection so she can communicate to her inner system. Really powerful stuff. Yeah, just go through my email, Deb. Same with D-Baby if you guys want to be healed with that connection. So, all right. It's fantastic. Almost 2 hours. You guys are astronomical. You're so much fun. I'm just going to go on live with TikTok because I got to form through that connection. So a lot of N84 systems have their stand through the connection. All right. So love you guys very much. I'll keep you informed. We'll talk a little bit more what's going on with your emotions and everything through its Orion's belt and how the line signal to its presence to its connection to its forming system. All right. To its alignment connection. All right. All right. Adios.